What's up guys and welcome back to On The Brick, where today I'm going to be asking the question, is custom Lego worth it? Or more so, is it actually valuable? Yesterday, as of the time of making this video, I was hanging out with my parents. It was a wonderful day. My dad had just picked up the mail and there was actually a package for me which contained this minifigure from Hoodie Studios. Hoodie is a wonderful custom maker that makes things unlike anyone else. If you're really interested in seeing some unique designs, I would highly recommend going and checking him out. I've been following him for quite a while, but what really caught my attention was when he started making these post-apocalyptic minifigures of Disney characters. First, I just really like that idea, and second, these are exceptionally well made. So as soon as I saw that he was going to be auctioning them off, I knew that I had to get at least one. Hoodie, I would have bought all of them had I had the money. And honestly, I still feel bad for not getting Mickey considering how low he actually went for. But I did get the Stitch, which is the one that I really wanted to get, and to my surprise, it was a little more minimalistic than I expected, but not in a bad way at all. I will be showing off this figure on my channel hopefully soon, but Hoodie is very talented and it shows off in this figure, even in the small details. If you know anything about Hoodie Studios, then you probably know I did pay a pretty good amount for this figure. But here's the question, if I wanted to resell this figure, would I get my money back? And really quick for anyone wondering, I do not plan to resell this, but if I did, would I be able to recoup the cost I sunk in, or am I just gonna have to lose some money? Obviously, it depends who I sell it to, but the reason that I ask that is because the custom Lego community doesn't really have recognition. Let me explain what I mean here. This is a shiny Mimikyu Pokemon card. I don't know Pokemon, so this was literally just the first card that I looked up. Now, what is this exactly? It's a piece of cardstock with some illustrations on it. But what makes it valuable and worth more than just 10 cents is the fact that Pokemon is a recognized entity throughout the world, and because of that has some value. And sure, this might only be worth $7, but that's $7 for a single piece of cardstock with some illustrations on it. But let's say you want a first edition holo Charizard, well, suddenly that tiny piece of cardstock is worth about $10,000 actually. Yeah, this actually sold for $10,000. Also, if you really want, this guy asking for $1 million does have the make offer. I wonder if he'll accept my $10. But again, the question is, why are these so valuable? And it's because people know what Pokemon is. People know what Charizard is. Holo cards are way more rare. Cards in good condition are way more rare. Cards that have been actually appraised are more valuable. If I had a mint condition first generation holo Charizard and I went to a pawn shop, they would buy that from me, no questions asked. I mean, they would have a few questions, but still. They would take it from me knowing 100% it would resell. But if I was to take in this post-apocalyptic Stitch, they probably wouldn't even look at it. And that's not just a Hoodie Studios thing. If I was to take in AV Figures, Clone Army Customs, any of that stuff, nobody would really care. Even if I took in one of like these super rare AV Figures decal sheets, it really wouldn't matter. Because within the Lego community, people might recognize just how valuable that is, but in greater context and in the world at large, no one really cares. I mean, if you were to type in rare AV figures into eBay and look at only sold items, the first two aren't even Lego related. But keep those minifigures and all that in mind, but I do want to mention that custom Lego sets are actually different. Again, if you go to eBay and type in custom Lego looking only at sold listings, you will see a whole ton of them on there, and for some pretty big prices too. I don't know how valuable some of these actually are, but they're selling for a lot of money. Also, do keep in mind that it's not like the seller's actually making $6,000 here. At most, they're probably making closer to $2,000, which is still a lot of money. But there are a few reasons these could be selling better than custom minifigures, and I think the first to acknowledge is that Lego itself is obviously a recognized and world-renowned brand. Most countries in the world probably know what Lego is. And of course, second, the things being created with the Lego pieces are usually recognizable as well, like this entire Mos Eisley cantina, which isn't even the cantina actually, but whatever. Now, Lego itself is known to have resale value. If you were to buy a UCS set and just hold on to it for 10 years, you're going to make money off of that. Of course, unless everybody decides to do that, but you know. Actually, I say that, but that is the very reason that newer sets are valued less than older sets, because now more people are holding on to them, meaning that there is more supply. Obviously, this is very basic economics. The less supply of an item there is for something that is in high demand, the more valuable that item will be. If 1 million people want an item, but there's only 10 available, that thing is going to be extremely expensive. But if 1 million people want an item and there are literally millions of it, then that thing isn't going to be expensive. That's just how it works. So the big reason why places like AV Figures or Clone Army Customs aren't super incredibly valuable is because they literally can continuously make more of their items. You're never going to sell an AV Figures 501st decal sheet for $10,000 because there's just so many out there. And honestly, this is actually the reason why I personally don't think that decaled figures are worth $40, $50 more. While a relatively decent amount of work does go into making them, there's also just a whole ton of them out there. But this Stitch is a 1 out of 1. No one will ever have another one exactly like this. Hoodie's not gonna make one, I'm not gonna make one. And unless for any reason you want to spend your hours painstakingly recreating this for yourself, this is it. This is the one and only. But even then, I don't think this would sell. I mean, look, if I put this on my Instagram and said that I was taking offers for it, 100% it would sell by the end of the day. And the reason for that is because I am really only in the custom Lego community. People seeing this on my Instagram feed will know exactly who made it, and doubly so for the people who are bidding on it. But even saying that, I actually don't think that I would make my money back. And again, I'm saying all of this with zero intention of selling this. I am happy with the money that I spent on it because I'm going to keep this. Oh, and there's one more thing I wanted to talk about. There are obviously a ton of items out in the world which are pretty meaningless until someone puts a bunch of scribbles on it signing their name. For instance, you can buy an Argentina jersey for relatively cheap, but the second Lionel Messi signs it, it's suddenly become very expensive. And that's because while the actual item itself is easily recreatable, the signature is not. Personally, I actually find it kind of weird that a famous person signing something suddenly like triples, quadruples the value, but whatever. But again, in this case, it's because of who Messi is, his worldwide recognition, how valuable he is. There is a known value from something signed by Messi. If one of you was to recognize me out in the world one day and ask me to sign something, that'd be a little weird and I would probably do it. But that signature wouldn't really be worth anything. 3,000 subscribers really isn't much in the grand scheme of things. All of this to say that while Hoodie Studios does have 5,000 followers on Instagram, it's a little weird that you signed this stand. And again, just to be perfectly clear, because you guys like thinking that every time I mention someone, it's because I don't like them for some reason, I do like this figure. I knew the money that I was spending on it probably would not be recouped. I had no plan on doing that. That's perfectly fine. I bought this figure for myself, and I will continue to buy future figures from Griffin at Hoodie Studios. So, is custom Lego worth it? Well, if you want it to be, then yes. Honestly, you shouldn't have other people telling you what you like or what's valuable or not valuable. As long as you're not hurting anyone else, just do what makes you happy. Sure, a lot of the figures I have might not have much resale value, but that doesn't mean that I don't like them, it doesn't mean that I'm not happy having them, and it doesn't mean that they are useless. They're not. Value means different things to different people. So, like what you like, love what you love, and don't let some random guy on the internet change that. Please do consider helping me please the YouTube algorithm by doing all those things of the liking, commenting, and subscribing. They really do help. And speaking of custom Lego, I'm thinking of starting up my monthly minifigure giveaway on my Patreon, so if you want that to be a thing, do consider signing up for even as low as $1 a month, or for a little bit more you can get shoutouts like Jonathan and Project Elements. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.